Welcome to the Sixth Hornet, the podcast for every Charlotte Hornets fan. I'm your host, Eric Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. If you're here, and comment below with your thoughts. Let's get right into it. The Charlotte Hornets, tough night, as they just couldn't keep up with the Minnesota Timberwolves down the stretch at Spectrum Center. Dropping their third straight, it just hasn't been good for this team. Not only was it the third straight loss, but the Hornets have lost 3 straight by more than 16 plus points. The games are close at some point. It's just the opponents. They're always finding some type of way to find a nice run during a crucial moment of the game, and then that's where you see the dominoes fall. So let's start with the two elephants in the room. LaMelo Ball and Charles Lee. So Ball, 18 points on 7-9 for shooting, 36.8%. Not very efficient. 2 of 8 from 3, 7 rebounds, 8 assists to go along with 1 steal and 1 turnover. Only 2 free throws of the night, or on the night. Overall, So we said he's inefficient, right? But really, I want to talk about why, because I think there's one reason, and that was the lack of calls for Melo. Even they talked about in the presser right after. So, LaMelo Ball didn't get to the free throw line for the last 9 quarters, up until about halfway through the fourth quarter last night against the Timberwolves. So Charles Lee was asked how LaMelo can draw more contact and get to the line more. Quote, "That's a great question that I will not touch," end quote. Eric Collins and Del Curry was talking about it during the game as well. Del Curry said, quote, "He's got to play through. He's just got to continue to play. He knows he's getting grabbed and hit every single night. Just got to play through it. Nothing you can do," end quote. I kind of agree with that. But there's this feeling where the sense that the refs don't respect him ever since he gave the bird to them a few games ago. Now I feel like you start doing that. I just think there's evidence that he's not getting the calls that he should be. And if you've seen that play where Rudy Gobert absolutely fouled him, clear as day, and no call. I mean, just destroyed his arm, basically. So I can see why Hornets fans are frustrated. I just wished Melo had that maturity level to not put himself in the situation where he's got that, vendetta with the officials, basically. Whether he's right or wrong, got to rise above it. Because then we wouldn't even be having this conversation on whether or not the refs are out to get him. I hate to say it. It looks rigged. At least that game did. And he should have just got calls. I just don't want the haters coming around and saying, "Look, LaMelo Ball's overrated. Wah, he's an inefficient high volume scorer. Can't get to the rim," shit like that. I don't want that. At the end of the day, he's one of the few special playmakers in this league that can create shots for himself and everyone around him. He's a top 10 point guard, in my opinion. Let's get to Charles Lee, because it kind of goes together. So we talked about it, that quote, "That's a great question that I will not touch." I think at that point you stick up for your star player, Charles. You got to just answer that question brutally honest, just like I did on the pod, except he's on a bigger platform, yada, yada. That's fine, but why he's not getting to the free throw line more. I feel like that's how you win the locker room. You take the fine, whatever the NBA says after you come at the refs, but you show you'll stand behind your star player at the end of the day. He just hasn't been likable as of late, and he's had some questionable lineup decisions. 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter last night, and LaMelo Ball is just coming back in. Hornets are within reach of a comeback, and Ball he's on the bench down the stretch. It's borderline sabotage at this point. LaMelo Ball is the most talented player on this team. He needs to be on the floor more. I mean, honestly, he should probably be leading the team in minutes. I mean, he had 33 minutes last night, but should have been a little higher with the game within reach, game within the comeback. Lineup decisions, they've been wonky. You know, Trey Mann, Sion James, Liam McNeely, T. Saloon, and Ryan Kalkbrenner all on the floor at the same time. That's a felony. I mean, I get that you're trying things, but man, it not much is gonna happen with that. And we saw what that looked like in the third quarter. Let's get at some other players because I want to give Charles Lee a chance. I hate just rotating head coaches, because we have to talk about, is it a coaching issue? Is it a player's issue? But let's talk about some other players. Miles Bridges had a really good game. He watched the last episode where I was talking about trading him. Very efficient night with a 30-point game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, perfect from the free throw line, 4 free throws. Insane 6 for 11 from the 3-point range. Still with all that, we all know the Miles Bridges cycle. We know it. We know he can score in bunches, but consistently, nah. Or when the defense tightens up in a 7-game playoff series, nah. I just think we know his limit. Still a great game, but we know where his upside is capped at. He's not going to ever be the best player on your team, nor the second best. Colin Sexton got the start tonight after Charles Lee. Again, lineup decisions. He unprecedentedly started 3 rookies in the game before. Still the same result. It's a loss. Sexton was pretty cold last night from the field. He had 9 points. He was 2 for 7 from the field. Missed all of his 3-point attempts, 3 of them. Not used to seeing that, right? Colin Sexton's been pretty good as far as efficiency with the limited shots he does get a game. But Jalen Clark on the Timberwolves just really shut him down on every drive to the basket. Still I'm pretty high on Sexton. He's been very effective in minutes he's on the floor. Again, another guy that probably needs more minutes. 20 minutes this game. I just I don't get it. Maybe he was not as efficient as you want him to be, but his presence it changes the way NBA teams have to play defense. So it's good to have him on the floor when you can. Still, just underrated offensive player. Charlotte basically got for free. Yusuf Nurkic, 2nd-round pick. You still got a good guy, man. Colin Sexton. Con Knippel, he's been pretty cold lately. He was crashing the glass. He got 8 rebounds, but 1 for 9 from the field. 1 from 8 from 3. This is weird. He was on the rise. Feel like he hit a climax, and then now we're nose diving. Not really good. But he's a rookie. I'm okay with that. He's just gonna be cold some nights, and until he gets more acclimated to the league, that's fine. We're not gonna kill Con Knippel. Now, if he does it again against the Utah Jazz, all right, maybe it's come on, Knippel. I just think this team. I didn't talk about Trey Mann, but Trey Mann had a better game. 6 for 15 from the field. He's taking a lot of shots, but he has a lot of good looks, so he has to take them. But Trey Mann had a better game tonight. I just think this team just loses momentum in an instant. Physicality was echoed by a lot of multiple players after the game, and I think they're right. The Heat, the Magic, and now the Timberwolves are just physically imposing their presence, and you can tell they're losing that battle. They're just too soft on defense. Injuries have been key to that. So missing Brandon Miller means a lot to this team. I know it's just one player, but this is 5-on-5 basketball. That's the fifth of the pie. Brandon Miller is a great 2-way impact shot creator. He's Brandon Miller was on the rise, and really wanted to see him play. I'm hoping he's okay, can play this season. But after only playing about 27 games last season, like you really wanted to see that he's not just this walking glass cannon. Like stay healthy, really take this team to the next level. But you're missing him. You're missing other vets. It's tough right now, and hoping it gets better on the second night of back to back. But it's dropping the last 3 straight by double digit points. It's not good. Like 2 of these games have been at home. Fans are going to start to get restless, and I'm not at that point yet. Still the youngest team in the NBA, but geez, it's frustrating. I'll say that. I'm probably going to say that a lot of games, this season, a lot on these episodes, but it's fun. It's fun, man. That's all I got. The Charlotte Hornets will play the Utah Jazz tonight, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can bounce back, get a win against a team that not that great in my opinion. So maybe we'll see. That's going to be it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the 6 Hornet podcast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Take care, everyone.